Hey gamers, welcome back to Game Perfection, a passion project by Karmasur Studios. My name is Karma, and in today's video, we'll be covering some of the best PC, PlayStation, and Xbox games of all time, Episode 6. Now, without wasting any seconds, let's dive right into it.
Stay down.
Hellbalde, released August 8th, 2017 on PC, Xbox, and Switch.
Do you hear them? They're calling for me. She's changing.
Where all dreams come true. You searched for control.
This one is an atmospheric action-adventure game developed and published by the British video game development studio Ninja Theory. The game is set in a dark fantasy world inspired by Norse mythology and Celtic culture. Its narrative serves as a metaphor for the character's struggle with psychosis. Here, Senua, our protagonist, suffers from a condition but believes it to be a curse. She is haunted by an entity known as the Darkness, voices in her head known as Furies, and memories from her past. To properly represent psychosis, developers worked closely with neuroscientists, mental health specialists, and people living with the condition. It's easy to see the pain and suffering caused by physical diseases or trauma, but it's not so easy to see the mental suffering or trauma or severe mental illness. The game has an amazing way to gamify this exact thing. There are many things that happen in the world of Hellbalde that make perfect sense within the context of Senua's mind.
I know you. He needs you.
Control, released on the 27th of August, 2019, on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Amazon Luna, Switch, and Stadia.
You called me. So here I am.
This is an action-adventure game developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by 505 Games. The game revolves around the Federal Bureau of Control, FBC, a secret US government agency tasked with containing and studying phenomena that violate the laws of reality. The player gains abilities by finding objects of power, mundane objects like a rotary phone or a floppy disk, imbued with energies from another dimension that has been at the center of major paranormal events and has since been recovered by the FBC. The game is inspired by paranormal stories about the fictional SCP Foundation created by an online collaborative fiction project. The game is built in the Metroidvania format, with a large world map that can be explored at a non-linear pace. And yeah, your service weapon is a special gun that can take on multiple forms, ranging from a close-range shotgun-like blast to a long-range sniper-like form. Half-Life Alyx, released March 23rd, 2020 on PC and Linux.
If we can get this weapon, what we're doing here could change things forever.
The gun! Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now!
This one is a virtual reality first-person shooter game developed and published by Valve. Here, you'll be playing as Alyx Vance, and you are humanity's only chance for survival. The Combine's control of the planet since the Black Mesa incident has only strengthened as they corral the remaining population into cities. Among them are some of Earth's greatest scientists, you and your father, Dr. Eli Vance. Like previous Half-Life games, Alyx incorporates combat, puzzles, exploration, and survival horror. Players use VR to interact with the environment and fight enemies using gravity gloves to snatch objects from a distance, similar to the gravity gun from Half-Life 2. To survive, you'll sometimes have to aim around a broken wall and under a barnacle to make an impossible shot, manipulate tools to hack alien interfaces, and also rip a head crab off your face and throw it out a window every now and then.
God.
They've got Dad.
They're gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
Quentin, I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alyx Vance alone cannot prevent his fate.
Resident Evil Village, released on May 7th, 2021, on PC, PlayStation, Stadia, and Xbox.
A young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence. The bushes empty.
We talked about this.
I know. We hardly talk about anything else.
Can someone please tell me what the hell is going on here?
No. The place is full of nothing but blood and death.
This one is a survival horror game developed and published by Capcom. Here, you'll get to control Ethan Winters, who searches for his kidnapped daughter in a village filled with mutant creatures. The village maintains survival horror elements from previous Resident Evil games, with players scavenging environments for items and managing resources. However, it adds more action-oriented gameplay, with higher enemy counts and a greater emphasis on combat. It is set in a snowy, explorable Eastern European village, described as pulled straight from the Victorian era, and much larger and more immersive than its predecessor. Structures and buildings in the central village can be climbed and used to fight enemies. The game's primary enemies, the werewolf-like lichens, are not only agile and intelligent, but can wield weapons and attack in packs, forcing the player to rethink their strategy on whether to use sparse ammunition or use melee combat, or simply run away.
Chris? What the hell? Take him away. Sorry, Ethan. Why?
Gears 5, released on the 10th of September 2019 on PC and Xbox.
You find what you're looking for?
Yeah. And now I need to kill it.
I'm not gonna lie. It's real ugly out there.
Down!
Can we watch each other's backs?
This is a third-person shooter action-adventure game developed by the Coalition and published by Xbox Game Studios. This game follows the journey of our protagonist, Kate Diaz, who is on a journey to find out the origin of the Locust Horde, our main antagonist. In addition to single-player gameplay, the game supports 3-player local split screen or online cooperative gameplay. In Horde mode, you'll team up with 4 other players to face 50 waves of ruthless enemies. In addition to several linear scenarios, the game also features several hub worlds, which can be explored freely on foot or using a vehicle named the Skiff.
We got a few more up here. You two push ahead.
Copy that.
Kate, these headaches.
In the game, you can complete various side quests, and as you explore the game's world, you would discover collectibles and essential components needed to upgrade Jack, a robot that accompanies you throughout the game.
Ah! You remember me? Now's the fun part, bitch!
Prototype 2, released on July 24th, 2012 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. This one is an open-world action-adventure game developed by Canadian studio Radical Entertainment and published by Activision. The game features a new protagonist, James Heller, as he goes on a quest to destroy the Blacklight virus. The story is one of revenge, as Heller wants to kill Alyx Mercier, the protagonist of the original prototype after his family was killed in the outbreak of the virus. This is one of those games in which you become more and more powerful, and can literally feel like a god. Your character can shapeshift, fly, run on walls, biobomb people, sprout tendrils, and even create black holes. Not only that, if you don't feel like fighting, you can straight up spawn monsters from hell. Man, is it even legal for a game protagonist to be this powerful?
I repeat, Mercer is currently 2 clicks east, Delta 0.
I got you now.
Hold your position. Reinforcements.
Disco Elysium, The Final Cut, released the 27th of April 2020 on PC.
Do you hear that? It's the most pathetic applause in the world, Harry. Made of pity. Time to fire up the old lie machine. A touch of absurdity there. Nice.
This one is an open-world role-playing game developed and published by Zaum. The game is presented from an isometric perspective, and you get to play a role of a detective who suffers from alcohol and drug-induced amnesia. It is really dialogue-heavy and features no combat in the traditional sense. Instead, It is handled through skill checks and dialogue trees.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks.
There are 4 primary abilities in the game: intellect, psyche, physique, and motorics. And each ability has 6 distinct secondary skills for a total of 24. Upgrading these skills help the player character pass skill checks based on a random dice roll, but potentially results in negative effects and character quirks, discouraging min-maxing. For instance, a player character with high drama may be able to detect and fabricate lies effectively, but may also become prone to hysterics and paranoia. Heck, even the choice of clothing has negative or positive effects on your character.
Is this some kind of joke?
Good things can still happen.
Mass Effect 2, released January 26, 2010 on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation.
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack.
This one is a sci-fi action role-playing video game developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. The game takes place within the Milky Way galaxy during the 22nd century, where humanity is threatened by an insectoid alien race known as the Collectors. The player assumes the role of Commander Shepard, an elite human soldier who must assemble and gain the loyalty of a diverse team to stop the Collectors in a suicide mission. The game features 6 different character classes for you to choose from. Each class is proficient in a different set of powers and weapon types. For example, the Vanguard class is specialized in close-range combat and shotguns, while the Infiltrator class relies on stealth combat and the use of sniper rifles. The game uses an over-the-shoulder perspective akin to a third-person shooter and places a strong emphasis on using cover to avoid taking damage while fighting enemy forces. NieR Automata, released March 17, 2017 on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Is that all you've got, little android? I'll kill you!
This one is a story-rich action role-playing game developed by Platinum Games and published by Square Enix. Set during a proxy war between alien-created machines and human-crafted androids, the story follows the trials of Combat Android 2B, Scanner Android 9S, and Rogue Prototype A2. The story requires multiple playthroughs, each unlocking additional story elements. The gameplay combines role-playing elements with action-based hack-and-slash combat, and features switch between video game genres similar to that of NieR, with elements ranging from shoot-'em-up to text adventure. In addition to standard navigation on foot, using a special item allows the player to summon a wild animal to ride, and in some scenarios, pilot a flying mech to fight enemies. Automata feature 26 different endings, 5 main endings lettered A to E, and 21 additional endings lettered F through Z. XCOM 2, released February 5th, 2016, on PC, macOS, Linux, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, iOS, and Android.
Hello, Commander. The success of the XCOM project is unmatched. The time has come to conquer our last remaining frontiers and lead the Resistance to victory on all fronts.
This one is a turn-based tactics video game developed by Firaxis Games and published by 2K Games. It is the sequel to 2012's reboot of the series, XCOM, Enemy Unknown. It takes place 20 years after the events of Enemy Unknown. XCOM, a military organization trying to fight off an alien invasion, has lost the war and is now a resistance force against the occupation of Earth and the established totalitarian regime and military dictatorship. Gameplay is split between turn-based combat, in which players command a squad of soldiers to fight enemies, and strategy elements in which players manage and control the operations of the Avenger, an alien ship that is used as a mobile base for XCOM. Many of the missions are timed, requiring players to complete them within several turns. Last but not the least, the maps are procedurally generated to create a wide variety of levels. That's it for today, guys. Which game do you like the most? Let us know in the comments below. Please feel free to drop your game recommendations and suggestions to improve our videos as well. Like if you feel like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Karma, peace out.